Hello students, as you know that we have been learning very interesting paper, that is plant physiology, and from that plant physiology we have learned actually till today the 6 units. Today we are going to start very new, or we have to switch on very interesting the unit. The name of that unit is Physiology of Flowering. We know that students, in case of the physiology, many more physiological processes are taking place in the life of the plant, isn't it? Means whenever it begins from actually the germination up to the seed development, the whatever physiological processes are there, each and every physiological processes develops a very interesting, we have to say that, the our inquisitive mind, how these things are going to happen, why plants are get involved thoroughly into that process. Many such means in the last lecture we have learned related with the germination, isn't it? But after germination, many more physiological processes takes place in the life of the plant, and then flowering is there. After flowering, fruiting is there again. So such a type of we have to say that cycle is there in the life of the each and every flowering plant. We have to say that, and physiology of that one is very interesting to learn. Very, we have to say that the such a type of we can discover many more things into that one. As in the last lecture we have seen actually the metabolic changes in case of the seed germination taking place into the seed, but still there is a scanty information in case of the which type of metabolic changes taking place in scutellum, we have to say that, in the endosperm of that seed, isn't it? That are we have to find out, we can discover all these things, isn't it? So many more things are not, we have to say that, still located, still discovered by the scientist, or we have to say that the physiologist, or we have to say that the human being itself. One example I would like to quote here. Just yesterday night, I was seeing one of the program, that is Kaun Banega Karodpati. In that Kaun Banega Karodpati, also one of the question was raised by the Amitabh Bachchan ji, isn't it? And in that question was related with which new things have been found by the, we have to say that, the scientist in case of the human body, or which new organs have been right now found by the scientist, or we have to say that the science fellows from the New Zealand itself, isn't it? So they have quoted 2 salivary glands in human beings. So like that one, I would like to say that to students, there are a lot many things which are there in this world, isn't it, which are undiscovered, that you will be able to discover. But for that one you should have with you, that is nothing but the inquisitive mind first of all, isn't it? Always you will have to raise the questions why, when, where, what, to the each and everything. Then only it is possible to you to understand the concept, scientific concept, I have to say that, because beyond the science nothing is there, and only science can give you a recognition. Only science can help to you to survive. Only science means real science, I will say that, isn't it? Real science, the discovered things are going to make your life happy. So today, now we have to concentrate right now on the most important thing, that is nothing but most important physiological process, that is nothing but physiology of a flowering. Students will have to keep in mind one of the most important terminology in case of flowering, that is of a photoperiodism. When we, as many times I used to say that to the students, just like we know that actually the more than 100 years actually the English people ruled to our country, isn't it? And which formula, which principle applied by them to rule for many more years on our country, The only that is divide and rule. That's all. Again, that principle I have to say that we have to use that formula we have to use just to learn about the scientific terminology, just to learn about the science, isn't it? Just to learn about the science itself. So photoperiodism, this terminology is there which appear here on the screen in the presentation. That terminology when we will divide into two parts, that is photo and periodism. Divide and rule. We have divided this terminology. Now we have to understand the concept from that one. Photo means light, definitely. Periodism is specific period, certain period, critical period, isn't it? Time, length of photo period. So that things are there. Now photo means light, periodism means period. That we have understood. Now exact meaning of that photoperiodism nothing but plant in order to flower, to initiate the flower. Plant to initiate the flower requires a particular day length or light period. That is nothing but the photoperiodism. Friends, for the initiation of a flowering, plant requires a specific or particular photo period, light period, and that is nothing but the photoperiodism, isn't it? And response of the plant to the photoperiod in terms of flowering, response of a plant to the period in terms of flowering, that is actually the exact photoperiodism process, isn't it? A response of the plant to period in terms of flowering is called as photoperiod. Means nothing but the initiation of a flowering requires a specific photo period, and that is nothing but the photoperiodism. Friends, in case of short length day is called as a photoperiod. In short length of day is called as a photoperiod, and the response of the plant to relative length of the dark and light period is called as a photoperiodism. Isn't it? In this photoperiodism, initiation of a flowering of each and every plant, we have to say that both the periods are having a lot of importance. That is, first nothing but the light period, length of light period, and again length of dark period. How that is? In the next lecture we will see that. Before that one we have to get idea about the discovery of the photoperiodism. Discovery of the photoperiodism. Who discovered this terminology? So first, photoperiodism terminology discovered by W. Garner and H.A. Allard. Garner and Allard in 1920 actually. In the beginning of, we have to say that the 20th century, isn't it? The beginning of 20th century actually they have discovered the terminology photoperiodism. How? So they were working, they were doing research. So they have made observations in case of tobacco plant, that is Maryland mammoth, flowered at different times at different places after controlling other factors like nutrition, temperature, all other factors have been under control, isn't it? Then also plants are flowering at a different period, and they reported that it was the length of the day which is responsible for the flowering or affecting on the process, physiological process, that is of a flowering. So they gave the term photoperiod to the favorable day length for each period. So my friends, as already I have said to you, a lot of research has been done by the scientists, and a lot of things have been still remain in a, we have to say that, undiscovered. So that you can also discover with the help of your knowledge, by understanding the concept of each and everything, whatever happening or whatever discovered by the scientists, then only it is possible. Now already you have to keep in mind only the discovery of the photoperiod, that is Garner and Allard in 1920, and how they have come to the conclusion that the specific photoperiod is responsible for the flowering by keeping all other factors under control or uniform. Then also they have found at different places different plants are that plant is flowering. Although each and everything is under control, means same conditions have been provided except the length of the day, isn't it? And then they have reached up to that conclusion. Now all the plants in the sense flowering plants, keep in mind all the flowering plants on the basis of photoperiodism are classified into main three types: short day plant, long day plant, day neutral plant, means SDP, short day plant, long day plant LDP, and day neutral plant, that is a DNP, isn't it? And this type of classification of a flowering plant is on the basis of photoperiod, or the time required or day length required for the initiation of a flowering is there. Now short day plant, isn't it? We know that in case of the short day plant, the short day plant flowers when day length is shorter than the certain critical period. Certain critical period means what actually? Certain critical period less than the certain critical period in the sense, friends, students, what we have to do? We have to divide actually the things in the sense day, that is of a 24 hours, isn't it? Day is of a 24 hours, 50-50, 12 hours dark, 12 hours night is there. But in case of short day plant, if they required only 8 hours light period for the flowering and 16 hours for the 16 hours dark conditions, 16 hours dark, 8 hours light, total 24 hours is there. And whenever flowering is there in case of the plant, then we have to say that plant are the short day plant. They require the short day condition for the initiation of a flowering. Which are those plants? That plants, wheat is there, rice is there, jowar is there, mung is there, soybean, cotton, xanthium, sugarcane, onion, strawberry. These are the examples of a short day plants. Short day flowering plants, we have to say that, because they required critical day length we have kept, that is of 12 hours, but less than that of 1, means 8 hours more than enough for their initiation of a flowerings. But you have to keep in mind, they required 16 hours dark condition, long dark condition, that should be uninterrupted. So in case of short day plant, dark condition is also having a lot of importance. If that dark condition is interrupted by flash of light or increased period of a light as more than that of the 16 hours, 8 hours, then also there is no flowering in case of a short day plant. In case of, we have to say, wheat, rice, jowar, mung, soybean, cotton, xanthium, sugarcane and onion. Now friends, long day plant definitely critical day length 12 पेक्षा जास्त, 50-50, 12-12 is there, isn't it? Whenever there is a more light condition is there and short dark condition is there, that is nothing but the long day plants. These plants required a photoperiod shorter than a critical point, and these plants will be flower. These plants are called as shorter night. They require shorter dark condition, shorter night condition. That's why they are examples: barley, oat, radish, spinach, hibiscus, carnation, mustard, cabbage, lettuce, turnip. All these are the, we have to say that, the examples of a long day plant, means short night plant. Okay. Now, application of GA can also induce the flowering in short day condition. For the kind of information, suppose example is there, we are having the spinach, isn't it? And we want to make that plant to flower in a short day condition. Actually this plant belongs to the group that is of a long day condition, and we want to make flower that plant in a short day condition. It is not possible. But if we apply gibberellic acid to that plant in a short day condition, that plant will flower. Isn't it? So this is the concept. Very simple. Now, this actually, the sketches gives you idea about flowering in short day condition. As already we know that this thing or length that is of a 24 hours. 24 hours. Here dark condition is a dark condition and short condition, isn't it? So here flowering is not possible because that plant will flower when and when there is a 16 hours dark condition. Short day plant, any 8 hours we have to say that the photo period. But what here things have been happen, more photo period is there greater than 8, so that is up to, we have to say that 16 hours photo period, 8 hours dark period, no flowering. Here short day plant, short period is of 8 hours, dark period is of 16 hours, which is uninterrupted, continuous, definitely there is a flowering, isn't it? Next condition, as already I have told to you, the dark period is having a lot of importance in the life of a short day plant for initiation of a flowering. So here 16 hours dark period is there, but that is interrupted by flash of a photo, flash of a specific small period. Although it here is a 8 hours 16 hours dark, but this dark period we have interrupted, because of that one no flowering. So dark period continuous, keep in mind this terminology, continuous 16 hours dark period is required to the short day plant for its initiation of a flowering. So although that plant belongs to the group short day plant, dark period in their life is also having a lot of importance, that should be uninterrupted without any disturb, continuous, that is required. So that can be cleared with the help of this sketch or this type of a diagram. Here in case of the long day plant, isn't it? Long day plant 16 hours there is a photo period, 8 hours dark period, isn't it? Correct things are there, flowering is there. Here dark period is of a photo period is of 8 hours, that should be असायला पाहिजे 16 hours, and dark period 8 hours, 16 hours, means both the conditions are unfavorable for the long day plant to flower. That's why no flowering. This is wrong, definitely things have been happen. Here as already we have seen, in case of the short day plant, continuous dark condition is having a lot of importance, but in case of long day plant, the dark condition having a less important, means dark condition is interrupted, that's why there is a flowering, isn't it? Although short day condition is there, but the 16 hours long day dark condition is interrupted by light. In case of long day plant, flowering is there. So this concept you have to keep in mind to understand the things. Experimentally all these things have been proved by the scientists, my friends. Here also same things you will be able to find out, isn't it? In case of the short day LDP and day neutral plant, isn't it? Short day neutral plants. Here we will be able to see 8 hours sunlight is there, 16 hours dark period is there, definitely flowering in case of the short day plant, isn't it? Here in case of the short light condition, long dark condition, that is interrupted with this one, no flowering. Also not only the length is increased, only flash of 16 dark hours period has been there, then also there is a no flowering, isn't it? So this concept you have to understand that. So that's why physiology having a lot of importance in that one. Here simply 3 conditions you will be able to see. Here the 18 hours dark condition, 6 hours, actually this figure It's going to say the total is a 24 hours, isn't it? 18 6 or 16 8, whatever it may be, short day condition flowering. Here 6 hours dark condition, photo period has been increased than the critical day length, so long day condition there is a flowering. Here you make any things, dark period you have to increase or light period you have to increase, there is no any problem. There is always flowering in case of the day neutral plant. So day neutral plant never responds to the length, either that may be the of a photo period is increased or dark condition is increased, means both period have a no any way how to say that importance in case of initiation of a flowering in case of the day neutral plant. That already, so example of day neutral plants are here, as we have seen in case of the short day plant, long day plant, tomato, sunflower, cucumber and peas. These are the day neutral plant which never gives any response at the time of initiation of flowering to the critical day length or critical dark period, isn't it? Now, very most important thing we have to learn, there is a difference, because that may can ask to you at the time of a examination in case of short day plant and long day plant. Short day plant is nothing but the plant flowers when photo period is less than critical, that is short day. Photo period is more than the critical day length, then long day plant can flower. Interruption during light period with darkness does not inhibit in flowering. Very interesting. So in case of life of a short day plant, for their initiation of a flowering, having a lot of importance of a dark period, not the photo period. Photo period is interrupted, no any problem. Here, if photo period in case of the long day plant is interrupted, no flowering, isn't it? In case of long dark period is interrupted by flash of light, but in case of short day plant, already I have said to you, dark continuous period is having a lot of importance in the initiation of a flowering. If dark period is interrupted by short flash of light, then also there is no flowering. In case of LDP, if dark period is interrupted, then there is a flowering will be happen. Light period is critical for the flowering. In case of light is long interrupted, continuous dark period is critical, as already we have seen. No flower alternate cycle of short day and short light cycles. Short day plant flowers in autumn, season is there, isn't it? But suppose we want to make short day plant to flower in a long day condition by application of a GA, that is not possible. But in case of long day plant, short day condition is there and we have applied the GA, flowering is possible, isn't it? But in case of short day plant, although GA is not having that much effect or promote the flowering in long day condition, but some plants of short day can flower by the application of ABA. But ABA, we have to say that does not have any effect on case of the long day plant, although the short day condition is there and we want to make the flower to LDP. With the help of GA it is possible, but with the help of ABA, not possible, my friends. So such a type of interesting, we have to say that we can find the physiology of a flowering plant. How the factors, that environmental factors are, means internal factors, external factors, such a things we have learned, ectogenous, endogenous factors. We have seen in case of the dormancy of the plant. Similar way, each and every physiological process in case of the life of the plant is affected by external and internal factors, isn't it? Controlled, we have to say that, by internal and external factors that we have learned with the help of this one. So you will have to remember the examples, specific examples for the specific type or group of a flowering plant, short day plant, long day plant and day neutral. Very interesting things are there, isn't it? With the help of this, my friends, I complete this lecture. But again I will say that you should have to keep your eye open. You will have to observe the things happening in the nature. Means you will have to observe the flowering plants, non-flowering plants also. And each and every observations you have to always note in your notebook as a science fellow, as a, we have to say, the science student. Okay, with this note I would like to complete